coming to our event. Of course, we've got Justin. He's been here with me since August of last year when I started all of this. I couldn't do any of this without him. And then, of course, Brian came into our life, started joining with his Psi Games, and so he's really made this fun because we start off with games and psychic, tapping into our psychic abilities, and then we go into stargazing. So it's kind of like it's just really worked out, and it's been a lot of fun. So we can get here early enough that we can mingle, tell stories, talk about what we see in the sky, do a little mind psychic, tap into our abilities, learn what abilities that we have that we didn't know that we had. So that's this, and I'm going to go right into Justin. I'd like to have you introduce yourself, and then Ryan as well.
Yep. So I'm Justin. I started experiencing the phenomenon, is what I call it, in 2023, where I just went outside as a joke, kind of, actually. I saw all the alien stuff on TikTok, and the first congressional hearing in about 50 years was about to take place. And me and my friend, who unfortunately is not here, but he usually is here, we were talking all day just about all the videos that we were seeing on TikTok. And I think also at the time there was the Miami Mall incident where people saw like some kind of being, people described, and like the largest police presence ever was called to the mall. Somewhere, yeah, right around there. And so I went outside as a joke and told my wife I'm gonna go look for the aliens, and went outside and just started seeing these balls of light flying through the sky. And it really just set off this curiosity in me of like, what is this? Like, I've never seen anything in the sky flying like this. I love looking at the stars. Growing up, I've always been kind of like fascinated by space and what's out there, but I've only seen maybe a couple shooting stars and stuff like that. And from that point on, I just started going out every single night. I was trying to document everything I could record in the sky. I had some interesting videos. I bought some night vision binoculars to help me record because my cell phone was having a really hard time picking up the objects. In May 2024, I had this really insane experience where I was in my backyard skywatching. I was actually looking southeast towards Denver, and I had my binoculars just ready to record, and to the northwest, right above my house, I heard this really insane noise that I've only heard that one time. And the best way I can describe it is like a spring doorstop with electricity. It was kind of like a joing kind of noise, and it got my attention and made me look up. And right when I did that, there was this triangular formation of orbs with another one locked in with this triangle, and it was flying north across the sky in front of my house, and I was able to catch a clip of it. And from that point on, I kind of just had this knowing, like, that wasn't a satellite. I don't know what that was, but that just made me have to go out even more and start documenting even more. And through doing that, it's kind of evolved. In 2023, I'd see maybe like 4 or 5 lights in the sky. And then here at our events this year, we've seen, pushing 100 objects in the sky in one night. So it's been this progression, this evolution of connecting with this phenomenon. And for me, it's through a lens of love. It's like opening up your heart and like bringing that mind-heart connection. And it also has to do a lot with gratitude. Like, I'll go outside, I basically start out the night with a little gratitude prayer. I go through everything I'm grateful for. Like, God, thank you for my family, my health. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy. And then I just ask, I'm like, I would love to be able to document your incredible phenomenon and share this with mankind. And since I've done that, I've been able to record some really incredible things. So actually, just in November, I created this video called The Phenomenon on YouTube. And it's about 30 minutes of some of my most interesting videos. And it's just been this push and progression for myself. And once I made that video, I kind of just felt like I'd shown all the proof that I needed for a skeptic to know that something's going on. So I kind of have pivoted recently and I created my podcast. So I have a podcast called Beyond the Lights, and it's all about consciousness and the phenomenon, because for me, consciousness is like the main piece of this whole phenomenon. So I've had a bunch of really amazing conversations with like Ryan and some other experiencers, other psychic trainers, and it's just been really cool to come to figure out that this world is actually way more magical than I ever thought, and we're just capable of these incredible things. So it's just amazing that we're out here being able to share this with everyone. And yeah, I just want to thank Kari and Dave for having us out here on the ranch. This really is like the best location for skywatching. So
we're going to talk more about why that is.
Yeah, so with all that being said, I'll hand it over to Ryan.
What's up, everybody? So my name is Ryan Desbien. I also go by Monstrous Nightmare number 716. So I was the 2025 Psi Games Champion. I podiumed in 3 of the 5 events. I won psychokinesis. I now have had about a year and a half of documentation of me being able to do Psi abilities on camera, on command. Just recently, I was interviewed by a pretty high-ranking scientist from England, as well as Larry Farwell here in the United States. So I'm all over the board. I actually just got approved that we were going to be on a TV show called Battle of Fates. We are about 2 weeks away from the 2025 or 2026 Psi Games, where I will actually be competing in 4 of the games this year, and hopefully walking away with at least a couple of podiums. So what my plan is for today, guys, and so what we'll do is, I know, is your computer, did you want to do your presentation first? So let me introduce one more person here and then we'll go into Kari's presentation. So this is my trainer, Cheryl. Cheryl is a tax accountant. She is not a psychic trainer, although she is probably one of the best psychic trainers you're ever gonna meet. We created kind of our own ways of training the Psi. We did it the same way that we would train for our motocross events. I'm a multi-sport professional athlete as well. So we just kind of went about it, and we've had a lot of success, and we're going to share some of those training methods with you guys later on this evening. Cheryl, did you have anything you want to add before we jump into Kari?
I think just have an open mind if you don't, and you're here, try all of it, and you'll have fun.
Yeah. Kari, what you got?
We couldn't do this without these 2 and then you guys, so thank you for being here. Of course, that's my friend, my new friend. This year, we went to Contact in the Desert in California, Palm Springs, and we got to meet Emily, Ryan, and we actually got to meet Chris Jr., and then of course Chris Bledsoe. So I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't heard from him. He has mentioned he wants to go to Utah. He's looking for the lady. I don't know if you know anything about Chris Bledsoe, but he's being called to look for her, and we're kind of on the path to Utah from North Carolina, and he wanted to possibly come out and do some stargazing. So fingers crossed. That's kind of why I have him up here. Muskie Mike is a guy that's been out here. This is one that I captured out here at our property. I don't know if you can see it. It's real subtle. Talking, learning how to do, tap into your psychic abilities. I mean, it's a good group of people to be around. Positive, uplifting vibration. And then we get a stargaze. And so when we're bringing all this activity together, we feel that, and I hope you guys do also do too, that bringing this vibration and coming together as a community, that we can connect with these things. We've got orbs, we've got ships, we've got even interdimensionals that come in. And I'd like to capture some of those tonight. So that's why I've got my camera hopefully set up for night vision.
Yeah, which to go off of that too, like some of my most interesting videos I've ever recorded have been out here at the ranch. So I think having a group definitely does raise the energy and helps be able to experience more of the phenomenon. And they love curiosity and excitement. There's been so many times where we're cheering and then they're just like flashing and pulsing with us and having a great time. Yeah, so one of the phenomenon that I've recorded a bunch of is just these like flashes in the sky. And we even have like military grade night vision binoculars, and you can see there's nothing there. It's just flashing out of nowhere. And we've had them respond, like Ryan was asking for flashes and it was just flashing. I've had them respond when I've asked as well. Actually, one of my most incredible videos was October out here last year. We were having the skywatch and we had Rebecca come up from Colorado Springs, and she really wanted to experience the skywatch. She just found Chris Bledsoe and was diving deep into his story and everything. And then she ended up finding my page and was like, well, that's only a couple hours away. I want to go experience this. And she came out here with her family. And first thing, as soon as it got just twilight, we had these, yeah, it wasn't even dark yet. We had these two objects very close by fly across the whole sky really fast. And I was able to record it, but the video just did not turn out well. It wasn't dark enough. And about an hour later, it got really dark and we were having activity everywhere. And I just was standing behind my camera and I was like, man, I really wish we could get two side by side like we did before. And for some reason, I just like, I'm gonna speak it into existence. There will be two side by side. And in less than a minute, there was these two massive orbs out to the south that were just sitting there, and everyone saw them. Like, I have it all on video. You can hear everyone talking about just how, oh, they're just chilling. They're just sitting there, and then they fade out, and then we have flashes coming out to the east, and yeah, it was crazy, but
we've seen
yeah.
some really great stuff. I really hope that we can see some more tonight.
Yeah.
But she's forever changed. Like,
Yeah.
and I think she wanted to come out tonight. She still might.
Hmm.
But let's start the games, shall we?
All right.
Let's have fun.
So once again, I'm Ryan Desbien. I am from the Psi Games. I also have a lifetime of working with folks with severe autism, severe dementia, severe mental illness, so a lot of nonverbal communication. I do also think I have some degree of telepathy, which I've been able to also prove. My goal tonight is to not necessarily do a whole bunch of demos for you guys. I might do a couple demos mixed in, but I want to have you guys have fun. I want to have you guys do some stuff tonight, and I got some new stuff for you guys if you've been here the last few times. So first thing I want to do, guys, is we always got to set our intention, right? Austin knows at my house, I dance a little bit, I get music on, I have a little bit of fun. For me, that's what works. For a lot of people, breathing works. So we're just gonna do two rounds of this 3-minute breathing exercise. The goal is with this is just to relax yourself. You're trying to fade into your chair with each exhale. You're gonna try to just relax a little bit more. We're gonna, let's see if the sound will work here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow the directions on the screen here. Basically, like I was saying, this is gonna be about a 3-minute breathing exercise. The goal being is that with each exhale, we're gonna try to fade in a little bit deeper into our chair. We're gonna try to let go of all the other stuff, our kids, our mortgage, our bills. We're just gonna try to be in the moment with each other right now, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna get this going here. Hopefully everybody can hear. So we're gonna breathe in. When you're breathing in, really try to get your lungs full. Feel that expansion in your chest. When you breathe out, try to breathe out, feeling any sort of negativity, any sort of bad vibes that are in you, anything that you need to let go with your personal, try to breathe those out. The last little bit, guys, when you're doing this, when you're breathing, think about a really fun place or somebody that you just love to be with. Think about a time that you had an amazing, absolutely unforgettable time with them that was positive and fun. Think those good intentions as you're breathing. Feel what those emotions feel like. You had that new puppy dog or that new animal in your home, maybe a kiddo, maybe an accomplishment at work. Feel it in your heart as you're breathing. When you breathe in particularly, feel it in your lungs, but feel it in your heart. Feel that emotion of that positive experience. Cool beans, guys. So now if this was my house, we'd have all these lasers that would turn on. There'd be all this like big thumping music and we would start to train. Austin knows what's up. That'll be said, we're gonna keep it a little bit tamer here. So we're gonna do a little precog, guys. So what I encourage you all to do is if everybody's got a cell phone, it could be on your notes. It could be, you know, something as simple as you just, you know, act like you're gonna write a text to somebody and you don't. Everybody's got a cell phone. If not, we do sell dry erase boards if everybody wants to do it like that. I'm gonna do it just a little bit on a dry erase board just to give a demonstration of what you guys should do with your phone. So what we're gonna do for the first little bit here, guys, is we're gonna work on some precognition. Precognition means that we have no idea. Ooh, you know what? We can even do it a little bit better than what I normally do. So, precognition. Basically, you can think of precognition as like a foresight or like a visual image in your head, your mind's eye of what's gonna happen before it actually happens. You know, sometimes people have precognitive dreams. Sometimes even remote viewing can be kind of precognitive. Waking premonitions, you know, just kind of knowing in your heart what that looks like, right? You know, the idea being is that we're gonna be doing a test to see how good your guys' precognition is at this very moment. That does not mean that's how you're gonna be doing overall, but the idea is just to let go of the outcomes, guys. If you guys get none of them right, don't worry about it. If you get all of them right, probably the same if you got none. It's just what's happening at that very moment. Trying to put that stigmatism on yourself to succeed usually actually kind of hurts these things. We're gonna try to be above what would be considered a statistical standard. Really, I just have this up here to kind of describe what precognition is for folks. The way that we're gonna be doing it today, we're gonna do it a couple of different ways. We're gonna use just a standard deck of playing cards. We have them split, as you guys can see over here. She has them in the machine. We're not doing any sort of magic. That's one thing I do want to make sure that I say to everybody here knows, but just so I'm saying it on the cameras as well. Nothing I do is magic. Nothing we do is pre-set up. I may succeed, I may fail. You guys may do amazing, you may not get very many. And it's just how we're gonna be doing at this moment, right? So what she's gonna do is she's split the deck, she's gonna shuffle them. And what I encourage you guys to do is she's gonna put out a set of 5 onto this corner over here once we have them shuffled. Say that again? Yeah, do a second too, just to make sure. She's gonna put the 5 on the table. What you guys are gonna do is in your phones, if you wanna do either a black or a red, we're kind of playing roulette right now. So we're gonna do a black or a red. You're gonna do your set of 5. If you're feeling snazzy about it, if we were being hardcore, in some of our trainings we are like a little bit hardcore, where we would say you have to do it in the exact pattern. Right now, if you have any of this on the table, on your board, count it correct. So even if, you know, card 1 is a black spade, still if you wrote black spade on your 5, count yourself correct, right? Because you guys are not trying to hit specific targets, you guys are trying to hit the targets on the table. And if you wanna put them out here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a demonstration here, guys. So I'm feeling like it's a red, black, red, and I'm gonna say a special, so I do a money sign for special. So special for me would be like any of the face cards and an ace. If I was feeling really good, so once again, I'm just kind of doing a demonstration. I don't know that I'm really trying to get these cards, but I might say red diamond, and I might say a 7, or I might say a black spade, believe it or not, that's a spade, and a 3, you know what I mean? And if you guys want to get that specific, which each one you can, we're going to give about 15 seconds for folks to write down their answers. Then we're going to go ahead and review this. We're going to do it for about 25 cards, so 5 sets of 5. So on the count of 3, we'll get going here. 1, 2, 3, pick your cards. All right, guys, so that's definitely probably been at least 10 seconds. We're gonna go ahead and flip the cards. So once again, if you guys wanna be kind of a little bit hardcore with yourself, kind of like we would train for the Psi Games, go ahead and do it in your pattern. If not, just consider it that if you have it on the table, consider it correct. So our first card is going to be a King of, maybe you should do this card. King of Diamonds, red.
Next is the 7 of Diamonds, red. Queen of Clubs, 2 of clubs, and 8 of diamonds. So, all right, so what he's saying basically is instead of the order mattering, did anyone get 3 reds? 3
Exactly, or?
3, well, it could be more, but if you have 3 reds and 2 blacks, you would be 100%. Good job.
So we'll do this one more time. So now that everybody kind of has the idea of what we're doing. Well, I wish I was a count carder. The TVIs have made that. It's this. Trust me, it's all like intuition.
Usually we reshuffle it in.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, now she's made me want to put them back in. No, just kidding. We'll just keep them rolling here. So I'm gonna go for this one. I'm just gonna do that. I'll just keep it moving. All right, guys, about 2 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. And our first card is
7 of clubs, 8 of hearts, 4 of spades, 9 of clubs, and queen of spades. So did anyone get 4 black, 1 red? Good job. Look, 100%.
we got a couple in here.
What did you get? 4 black, 1 red. Wow.
Wow.
I almost got them in order. Wow.
Let's keep it rolling.
That's awesome.
All right, we're gonna do 3 more sets here, just to round us off at 25.
Okay.
So we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I don't know, maybe that one. All right, guys, let's go ahead and flip card 1.
2 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, 3 of spades, ace of diamonds,
Black.
and jack of clubs.
Boom!
All right, did anyone get 3 reds and 2 blacks? Look, it's more and more every round.
Cheryl, I just want to show you. Thank you.
You did get it, Paul.
Yeah. We'll do our last one.
Red and black then?
You can do red or black or however you want to do it. I mean, just so the way you would look at it, right, is if you're just doing red black, you're 50-50. If you add on the aspect of you're adding 4 suits, then you would then do that with the 50-50. Then if you add the number on or the correct card, then that's, you know, exponentially you're getting bigger in terms of your accuracy, but that also improves your, I mean, it actually, you know, makes it harder to get the higher accuracy the more you add on if you want to count it correct, right? And so we typically would count it right if I got 2 of the 3 parts. So if I got the suit and the color, we would count that correct, but if I got the number wrong, we'd probably still let it slide. But if I got just the color, sometimes we wouldn't count it. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. If everybody's got their cards up, we'll do this last little bit.
9 of hearts, queen of hearts, 4 of clubs, 8 of spades, and 3 of clubs.
Anybody get anything? Yeah. Dude.
Wow. So last round I think was the highest, though. There were 4. So 5, right? Because you got it. So good job.
Excellent job, guys.
Pretty easy starting point, and usually what you do before you do mindset.
So typically we would, and Austin can verify this, Austin's in our training, so I'm just keep throwing it back to Austin a little bit, but we typically will warm up with precognition. Precognition kind of just, the more that you kind of just know the outcome of something, the higher the probability is that you're gonna make all these other things happen. What I will say as well, it's just a good way to warm up. You don't have to think about it too much, especially if you're just doing black-red. We're just gonna do a really quick one just to do a little 5-rounder. If everybody wants to take another hit, this is just gonna be another version of black-red. If you wanna get more specific with it, you can do the 1 through 7, pick out which number you think it's gonna land in. We're just gonna do a set of 5. I'm gonna do them rapid fire throughout the board. Just make sure I'm gonna give everybody a chance to do their answer. So I'm gonna start in this section. Go ahead and write down if you think it's blue or red. And if you want to, the number, I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna say red.
Red.
All right, guys, so I'm gonna go in the middle now. So go ahead and write down your answers, blue or red. I'm gonna say blue. Oh, it got stuck. Hold on, there we go. Ah, red. All right, guys, I'm gonna move over here now. Once again, dude, you're on it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say red this time. I'm gonna drop it. Oh my gosh. What do you even call that? How does that even happen? The thing. Hold on, we're gonna say that as a redo. I've never had that happen before. All right, we're gonna do 2 more here. I'm gonna go back to the right side. Blue or red, write down your answers. Red. I'm gonna go ahead and go in the center now, guys. Go ahead and write down your final answer because I think this will be our last set of 5. Blue in the middle, jump back at the end. Blue 4. Did you get it? Nice. So I just wanted to show a couple of different ways to do precognition. Once again, we warm up with precog. Maybe let's just do like let's do a set of 3 and we'll just do it 3 times of the Zeners. Just because that's an easy thing to do too. So guys, Zener cards are gonna be kind of a staple of psychic training. It is the Ghostbuster cards that everybody's probably familiar with. Typically they are a circle, square, plus, star, and either water or bacon. I like to call them water. What we're gonna do is, and that's just the normals, right? Yeah. Perfect. You can go shuffle them. We're just gonna do a couple of sets of 3. We're gonna just have our hand shuffle. We don't need to bust out the thing for all this. Just to show you guys one more way of training precognition. And then we're gonna kind of move on from that, just to kind of get you guys going. Once again, with the group that I do, we typically will warm up with at least 2 or 3 of these different versions just to get our minds in the matter. Once again, I'm gonna give you guys just 15 seconds so you can write down or just kind of mentally think of the 5 shapes. There's 3 of them here. They could be repeating. They may be all the same. It could be all completely different. Once again, star, plus, square, circle, and water. All right, go ahead and write down your answers now. All right, guys, we're gonna head and call it in 3, 2, 1. Card 1 is a star. Card 2, circle. Card 3, square. That was a good variety.
Did anyone get all of them?
Yeah, just or if not, if the order just. Yeah, I got it, man.
That's all we're doing.
All right, we'll just put those over there. We're gonna cover these back up though. All right, next 3 are out. We're gonna go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. And we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up in 3, 2, 1. Circle. Star. Who else got 2 of the 3 of that one? Yeah, I think I heard like I got 2 of the 3 of that one too. Anybody get 3 of 3? No. All right, we're just gonna do 1 more of these guys and we're gonna move on to our next topic. All right, guys, so the 3 cards are out. We're gonna do it in 3, 2, 1. And we're gonna go ahead and call it in 3, 2, 1.
Plus, circle, star. 2 out of 3. Good job. 2 out of 3 is great.
That one, when I did it before, like actually writing on the board was like I got more accurate, and I think it's partly because there's something in my hand. Yeah, like my hand knew what it was versus trying to like pick up on the image and convert that to something I can write. You know?
Austin, doesn't Sean do that? Doesn't he trace it in his mind? Is it Sean?
Yeah, Sean, yeah.
But there's also a thing called intuitive writing. You can sort of let your hand write without thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost channeling. Yeah.
So for this next part, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We kind of talked about it, but I'm gonna actually have Justin come up for this part as well. We want, we're gonna try to do it a little bit of Psi, a little bit of orbs, a little bit of side and back, since we still have quite a bit of daylight. What we want to talk about is, we all have different ways of connecting with this phenomenon, right? We're all here to do a skywatching event. Some of us are here for the Psi training, but I think the majority are here for the skywatching. You know, Justin, I know for a fact, has had his own personal experiences. I've been with Justin when we've had our own experiences. We've seen separate experience, or the same experience, but separately from each other. And then I've had my own experiences as well. And 716, by the way. What I was gonna say is, so what I did is I created kind of just an explanation, and we're just gonna talk a little bit. Justin actually has been in contact and interviewed one of the folks that's actually worked with Mike Batista, one of the psionic assets that's worked with our government. And I'll just kind of talk about my experience just real fast, and we'll kind of let Justin take over in his and talking about the folks that he's also interviewed. But basically what we were gonna say is, you know, a lot of this for all of us really comes from love. It really comes from acceptance. It comes from trying to search that moment within ourselves, right? Whenever I've had these, you know, I've been able to kind of have experiences whenever I'm out there setting the intent to look for it. But the big ones that I would say usually come when I'm kind of in an emotionally elevated state, when I'm searching for an answer, right? And so I don't pretend to know what these orbs are. I'm not gonna preach up here and say that I think that they're angels or interdimensional beings or, you know, conscious plasmoids. It could be any of those things. I don't know, right? But what I can tell you is that I've never been harmed. I've never had any negative experience. It's been nothing but positive in my life. And when these things have appeared to me, it's usually in a period where I'm needing some sort of a sign to get back into a positive place, right? Most recently and most notably was that contact in the desert. I'll talk a little bit about my mind sight and all that later, but I was in kind of a weird spot after this thing that we went to, and I asked for my mom to give me a sign. My mom passed in 2015 of cancer, and the orbs, I was also talking to the orbs and universe and just anything that was really out there listening, and I actually got a triangle orb formation on camera after a handful of coming in and out to kind of get my attention, and that's just my most recent, and it was powerful enough to make me cry in the moment. Gave me the verification and the channeling to did some other stuff that we'll demonstrate here in a minute, but it's really that heart space. All this psi stuff, a lot of this consciousness also is really connected to your emotions and where your intent is, right? And so that's my personal experience. We'll have Cheryl go over the like data stuff that I put up here later, but I think the experiences that we can share with you might be a little bit more impactful and help increase tonight. We are gonna have hopefully a really good weather night. I'm thinking tonight's gonna be hot.
Yeah, I think tonight will be a good night, but yeah, so like Ryan was pointing out, I mean, I actually have his video of that triangle he recorded from Contact in the Desert on an episode that I just recorded with him. But also episode 14 of my podcast, I interviewed this dude named John, and he was invited to go out and be a psionic asset with this thing called Skywatcher. And if you haven't heard of Skywatcher, they've kind of disbanded at this point, but a couple of years ago, they hit the scene kind of big and made a wave. There's this whistleblower named Jake Barber who was flying a helicopter, and he was actually tasked to go retrieve a craft. And he ended up flying his helicopter in and picked up this like 20-foot egg. That's the best way you can describe it. It looks just like a giant egg. And when he picked up this craft and he was flying it to his destination and drop it off, he ended up having this emotional experience. He just felt this feminine, divine energy that kind of like overtook him, and he started like emotionally just breaking down. He was crying, and he almost had to call off his mission because he wasn't sure that he was going to be able to fly the helicopter safely. And after that experience, that kind of pushed him to get out and want to share this information, and he created Skywatcher. So this guy I interviewed, John, he was invited from Skywatcher and Jake Barber's team. He went out to the middle of the desert, and he was a part of this team of psionic assets who are consciously trying to basically call in crafts or non-human intelligence and interact with it. Through that experience, he realized that all the same methods they're using are basically the same thing that I'm doing, and like Chris Bledsoe and all these experiencers, where it's really not searching for something outside of yourself. It really sent me on this inward journey where I learned meditation and all this, the spiritual aspect of this phenomenon. Because when it started for me, it was all nuts and bolts, and they're aliens from outer space. I really didn't have the spiritual lens, and over the last couple years, I've really been diving into it and learning about it, and it's given me that connection like Ryan was talking about with the heart. And like when I go out and connect, it's really when I'm in that elevated heart space, that's when I have these crazy experiences. So like when we're having our events, I'm in that elevated state. And another thing I really noticed is a lot of my other really interesting videos are all around holidays. So I'm usually in an elevated state as well. I'm celebrating, like, I don't know, it's just, you're in a good mood and, you know, enjoying life basically. And when you're in that state, that's when these things seem to happen. And it's really an internal state. So for me, contact isn't something that you're trying to like call out to. It's more about going within and inviting a connection with that divine essence or whatever it may be. Like, I don't know what it is either. All I can say is I've felt nothing but love as well. I will admit there have been times where I've been overwhelmed and I've had like crazy adrenaline going through me, just like that triangle craft that really, I was amped up and I was like freaking out. I came running inside. I was like, oh my God, I just saw the craziest thing. So, I mean, I've never had a negative experience, but I've definitely been where it has been overwhelming. But I think it's here for a reason. I think that this phenomenon is really here to help bring in the next evolution of mankind. And it's not a physical evolution, it's a consciousness evolution. They're really trying to get us to expand our thoughts and move past all the fighting, killing, the war, and really just realize that we're all humans on planet Earth together. We could all be working together and just make this like the most beautiful place in the solar system. And it really feels like this phenomenon wants us to remember that. And it's kind of, to me, it's also an ancient thing that's been here for all of recorded history, actually. So yeah, I mean, that's the main gist, but I definitely recommend check out my podcast if you want to learn more. That episode is kind of like the how-to to connect with the phenomenon and be able to start experiencing it for yourself.
I just wanted to throw a few more things out there. Go ahead, and this is the part where, you know, I'm also a clinical guy. I'm actually a clinical behavioralist. So I will say that clairaudience does look a little bit like schizophrenia. I try to stay grounded, try to keep it as real as I can, but also don't discount that there can be miracles happening around us, right? So Cheryl, I'm going to have you just talk about these little things, and I'm just going to talk a little bit more about each one.
Read them?
Yeah, if you could. Just talk about, like, we're talking about this portion right here.
Okay. So number one, scale and classification of orb, community perspectives, consciousness connection, silent mental requests. A mental beacon. Luminous orbs frequently alter flight path, flash, or change color after silent mental request. Groups use intent, meditation, and visualization to project.
The being is that, so guys, one of the things that they talk about in like this, the CE5, I believe it is visually and mentally kind of taking a,
It's
like
inviting,
and you're Google Earthing yourself, thinking, you know, you're going to think about kind of raising up out of yourself and what that might look like, raising up into the stars, kind of looking around, seeing where you're at, kind of spatially, then exactly, kind of floating around there being like, hey, what's up? We're having a party over here, you know what I mean? And then kind of bring yourself back down to where you are, and that mental intention that actually sends sort of a beacon to potentially to orbs, and what that will increase the likelihood of us having some stuff happen. It's been proven. It's a thing that I do consistently, and also seems to work very well. Go ahead.
And then one thing with that too, with like the CE5 meditation style, where you're projecting out your location to the cosmos. John, who I interviewed, he was actually trying to have an experience. He had never experienced the phenomenon until 2024. But he was actually using the CE5 style meditation, which was developed by Dr. Stephen Greer. And yeah, it's just sending out a beacon of where you're at. But what John said was, for him, he was doing that for months, it wasn't working. And what really shifted for him was he found Chris Bledsoe in the spiritual side of it, and he really realized that instead of, like I said, calling out to something, he went within and said, you know, like, when you get into the spiritual, you kind of come to the conclusion that everything's connected. And he realized that the orbs in the sky are a part of him. So it was more going within and realizing that you're connecting with this part of yourself. It's not something outside of you, it's really this piece of yourself that you could be connecting with.
Kind of just, we kind of talked about it, we even kind of did the astral projection that you're kind of up into space. One possibility too is that these are other consciousnesses, that you could potentially do it with yourself. And we'll do a little bit of remote viewing after we talk about this. We're gonna get a little bit woo-woo here for a minute. But another potential would be like your astral body. That could also present as an orb. Say you had, if you were trying to do some covert military stuff, seeing a little light orb in a facility might not be uncommon if you're in a highly restricted area. Once again, this is kind of a little bit more abstract, but I just want to throw it out there that it is another type of orb. Observations and behaviors and what would make it different. What makes an orb different from a satellite that we just see going across the sky and we might shine a laser at it and it's just like, man, it just does its own thing compared to the orbs that communicate, flash, come in and out. Want to run through that just real quick?
Okay, number 2, observed orb variations in behaviors, declassified reports, metallic and silent, aerodynamic anomaly. Anomalous aerodynamics, flight patterns completely inconsistent with human technology or aerodynamics.
So hold on just 1 second, that's it. So this is, what we're talking about here is more like a boogosphere. Some of the things that have been seen around like some of our military installations, where they're maybe the size of like a volleyball to like a beach ball. The boogosphere is definitely the most probably popular example of what this is. They're still deciding what these things are. We know that they're tangible. We know that we have them in our possession. We're trying to figure out if they're ancient, alien, if they're from our technology and we're just not aware of it. So another orb could be like if you're creating like a psychokinesis type energy. We won't talk too much about that one. The orbs that I see the most are going to be the ones mentioned here at the bottom. These like large orange orbs that also could potentially have these orbs that come off of them. We see them all the time. That's actually what visited me in Contact in the Desert that I've had visit my house. Speaking of which, the latest drop has the half moon thing that we freaking saw at our house. It was on the pictures. Anyways, we'll get into that in a minute. Just to kind of let you guys know, that's the kind of orb that I think we're going to most likely see out here as well. These are ones that very consistently will show up here for us. Once again, if you get into like the conscious plasmoids, I'll let you just run through this real quick, Cheryl.
Okay, scientific and government explanations, physical lens, scientific hypothesis, atmospheric plasmoids, magnetically confined dusty plasmoids. Atmospheric plasma proposed. Some luminous orbs are confined plasmoids created by meteoric dust.
That's probably all right. I'll just figure it out. Basically, what we're saying here is that we have the conscious plasmoids, right? Potentially, that's another form of what we might see or encounter when you're looking for these orbs in the sky. These are the ones that, at least at my house, the Rhino Pit, these look like planes or helicopters coming in, and all of a sudden they just disappear. And I feel like they can increase in size, they can increase or decrease in size. They are more conscious. These are maybe the ones that flash in and out with us. Are they an entity? Are they an angel? Are they the consciousness of an extra dimensional? Once again, I don't know, but this is definitely something that I have personally come in contact with. I know a lot of us have. Just another version of an orb that we might encounter. Just to do a little bit of stuff, Arrow, we've had all this stuff we are living in the age of disclosure right now, with everything coming out. I was just going to talk a little bit about that, just with Arrow, but there's a whole bunch of conspiracy stuff that goes along with that, so we'll just kind of not go into all of that. Biggest thing, guys, is I just wanted to let you guys know that these things are real. A lot of us here have experienced these things, and for us, not only are we going to try to set that happy intention tonight to have that happen for all of us again tonight, but now we kind of know what we're maybe looking at if we start to see different things, if we start to see the flashers and see the difference between maybe the orbs that are bright orange and just kind of come in and out compared to the bright blues and whites that we have that get hyper bright, look like they're a helicopter that's about to come and raid us because we were putting too many green lasers in the sky, and then all of a sudden they're gone. We're going to take us a quick 2-minute break, guys. We've been going for a minute, and then I want to do some remote viewing with you guys. Everybody loves remote viewing. I've got some cool stuff.
You were talking about something, and you were going to elaborate on that a little bit later. What was that? You saw something and...
The half moon.
Oh, yeah, dude. my trainer and Cheryl, we literally have, so we live reasonably close to DIA, so we know the difference. I mean, you all know too. We have lots of planes, but we know what a plane looks like from all angles, and we know where all the airports are. We're kind of like David and Kari to the point where our north and our east is just fracking and highways. There's nothing really out there, right? So we physically saw that half crescent moon ship fly over our house close, and basically it kind of stopped and looked at us, and that's how we caught it, and then it zoomed off silently just as it went, and it's one of the few things I did not catch on video. Usually I'm pretty on the videos, but she experienced it with me, and then when I saw that release of the video, I'm like, there it is. But yeah, we'll take just a really quick break, guys, and then remote viewing is going to be next level. I totally spaced when we talked about precognition. I also want to talk about flow state. For any of the folks that do any sort of sports, anybody that's an artist, a writer, anything where you're feeling in the flow where you can just lose track of time because you're so into that moment. Precognition for me really comes a lot like that. And so what I wanted to just do, I forgot to show this clip, but I wanted to show just some like real life applications of where precognition can really help. Once again, we were talking about like the precognitive dreams, where you're kind of envisioning what your future outcomes might be, seeing into the future, seeing into the past, seeing others, seeing representations or symbols of things that might have more meaning in that moment. But on a more application version of it, avoiding things like car wrecks. I had a situation where I literally called out to my dad not to drive a car somewhere specifically in a specific time period. I made it very, very known, and he did exactly the opposite and got into a wreck. Went specifically to the place I told him not to go and definitely got into a wreck. So avoiding car accidents. Lottery or gambling, I don't know if any of you know, but I will fully admit I am a very, very good gambler. Part of the positive parts of being a good psychic. So it does very much help in that. I won't have you tell any of your stories, but anyone that knows, I got lots of gambling stories. Things like when I race my motorcycle, knowing that if I go on the inside, I'm most likely to have these sets of outcomes compared to going on the outside. I'm avoiding crashes. I'm a moto dude, so I had to talk about that. Also talking about that flow state. You know, when you're in that moment, when you're trying to visualize what those cards are, when you're trying to jump 100-foot jump in the air, you're trying to adjust the bike to land correctly so that you're going into the fastest, into the berm, into the next corner, right? What looks like what's happening to everybody else in like a second and a half, in my mind, I'm processing it like that was a 2-minute ordeal in my head, trying to line that all up and make it all happen, right? And it's because you're so hyper-focused that time kind of slows down. Same thing where like if you burn your hand, it feels like your hand's on that burner for like 10 minutes, but it's really just like a really quick touch, right? The irony of life where the really good things go by really fast and the bad things just kind of trudge on, right? It's these time kind of perspectives that you can use and kind of sit in when you're hyper-focused to really kind of predict these outcomes. And so I just want to talk about that real quick. I just wanted to make sure I showed that cool slide I made because I'm proud of it. But the real thing I wanted to talk about next, guys, is remote viewing. And so once again, I'm a moto dude, so I try to throw a couple of different things in here. I've gone over it before about how to remote view, and I'm still going to do it one more time real quick, just so we all know, kind of a very generic 101, very soft version. It's just like motocross. There's different types of dirt bike riding. There's enduro and supercross and all these things. There's all these different types of bicycle races. Remote viewing actually has many different types as well, right? And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a very, very soft, very general overview of how you might set up your paper, as well as having you guys do a little remote viewing with us. So typically what we would do is, and actually Cheryl, if we wanna give out, I want people to have fun. If you guys wanna maybe get into groups of 2, we actually are selling these if you guys ever wanna come back and just have one for the next time you guys come. Otherwise, we're gonna just give a few out here. I forgot to do that. We're gonna give out a few of these boards. And so what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna set up our boards kind of a typical way. We're gonna write our name. I think Brandy did this for me last time, and she's definitely got better handwriting. We're gonna do our date. I forgot what today was, 7/11, right? If there's anything that you guys wanna let go of or having any kind of like, once again, that when we were doing our breathing exercises, anything that's kind of coming up, just kind of write that. You're just kind of writing it out so that you're kind of acknowledging it, but then putting it into that to that space where you're not really thinking about it for too long. So we'll just call it your lockbox. So whatever you need to write to yourself, to just try to put whatever's in your head away, store it away, you're not thinking about it at the moment, you're gonna try to be in as much in this moment as you possibly can. The one thing, once again, guys, I talked about this last time, but I wanna make sure that you guys are not doing what we call analytical overlay. So analytical overlay is wanting to name things, wanting to say specific items. One thing that I will kind of talk about here on my next, once again, we got the motto, how to do the motto. What we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna use these and we're gonna think more in terms of like description terms. So colors, emotions, symbols. When you try to say, like, say you're getting what could look like an apple, but really, and then so you start thinking an apple, then you start thinking a core of an apple, and then you're starting to write an apple tree, and you just put yourself off into this tangent of an apple when maybe it was a red, just circular shape, and you were just seeing a portion of something completely different, right? When you use this analytical overlay and you start getting too much into labeling things, you kind of distract yourself from maybe focusing on what the real target might be. So just kind of being aware of what analytical overlay is. Once again, we're gonna use description words, so colors. You can also do quick drawings or sketches. Once again, we're gonna try to combine all these. I think I have a better one. Let me do one more thing here as well. So once again, guys, I typically, when I do my remote viewing, will actually use a mindfold or a blindfold, one of my masks. I'll try to reduce the amount of sensory input that I have coming in to try to see what's coming into my mind's eye the clearest. Totally, we don't have to do that now. You can totally just shut your eyes, kind of go into that meditative state, or just try to visualize what the different things that we are about to do are. Once again, your stage one, we're gonna be doing description words. Stage two, you might do some sketches. If you're really feeling good about it, you can start labeling things, but once again, I'm trying to get you guys to avoid doing the analytical overlay. Sketching bigger shapes, bigger ideas is better than getting like real specific, like the flowers specifically here, here, and here. Draw what you think a representation of flowers might be instead of trying to draw the individual buds. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep these a little bit timely. I have about 4 different targets that we're gonna go for, and these are all different styles of remote viewing. So I'm gonna keep these relatively close. I might have the YouTube up. We wanna do 3 minutes or 4 minutes? Who wants to feel more of a challenge and who wants to have a little bit more time? 4 minutes? 4 minutes. So our first one's gonna be coordinate. What I would suggest doing is, I'm gonna kind of watch over here. Go ahead and write down your coordinates. So this will not have a target number. We're gonna have you guys do a first one with coordinates. This is kind of the traditional way that they were doing remote viewing. I will just say that so this might be a physical location, right? That's the only hint I'm gonna give you guys. Don't try to limit yourself. You go ahead, I'm gonna back this up.
Coordinates for this are 43.87895 degrees north, negative 103.45983 west.
Pay attention.
So you're trying to visualize what could be at that coordinate and write down what you see.
And so I'm not gonna start the timer yet, guys. I just wanna throw this all out to you. We are not gonna be doing appropriate remote viewing. I'm going to reveal what our targets are. If we were actually doing remote viewing, we would not reveal what the targets are, because then we would be creating a feedback loop. So I just wanna make sure I wanna make sure all the videos know, I know what I'm doing here. We know that we're creating a feedback loop. This is not technically correct remote viewing, but we wanna have fun as a group. We wanna have some experience. We wanna see how good we're doing, right? And so I am gonna give you guys a target. It's a no-no. I'm slapping my own hand. But we're gonna go ahead and start this timer, guys, in 3, 2, 1. And this is actually super calm for what I would typically do, guys. So I'm gonna talk over this just a little bit. Visualize yourself in a location, right? You know this is a location. What does it feel like? What's around you? What are the colors that are around you? Temperatures, emotions, descriptions.
Also, don't discount anything that pops into your head. Like if you get some weird flash of a squiggle or something, write it down, because I've seen that so many times. I'm like, I guess I'll just put it, and that ends up being exactly what the image actually was.
If I know it's a location, I might try to visualize myself in a physical location. I might try to feel what the ground feels like beneath my feet. I might try to feel or taste the wind or smell the wind. I might try to sense if it's hot, cold, if it's thick, like I'm in water or dirt, or if it's clear and crisp, like I'm up in a mountain setting. I might try to sense what colors are around me. I'm trying to sense shapes. Really, those descriptions are gonna be what are gonna suit the best. 3, 2, last thing's on the board. 1. All right. So once again, I'm gonna openly say I'm aware I'm creating a feedback loop. Is this traditional remote viewing? No. What would happen is you would turn in your notes to an assessor. The assessor may know the location, they may not. If they don't, they're gonna assess what you wrote as they would probably have 2 or 3 remote viewers doing the same target, take a collective of what that target may be and not tell you because they wouldn't want to create that feedback loop once again. So what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna have you hold up your board. If you guys want to, you don't have to. Just kind of say what you guys are feeling, what you guys saw. Just kind of do a board hold up, maybe a 30-second to a minute run through, and we're gonna get some video of it and we're gonna see how everybody did. We're gonna start on this side of the room. So tell us what you got, Cheyenne.
We saw a lot of tall trees, windy, maybe some birds. Link saw sunny feeling. I said warm, fuzzy feeling. He also said grass and homes.
Cool beans.
Nice.
Austin, what you got?
I got forests, maybe houses, blue, yellow parallel lines at an angle, and a bunch of little dots.
Show me your board. Okay. Who we got next here?
Me and Kim, so we have water, blue, breezy, something sort of tan or grainy sand, something along those lines. I have sand down in AOL. A large sun hat shape, which I also kind of got, but I got it as a, like at the end of a boat sort of feel.
Yeah.
And then tall grass movement, and then at the very beginning, I got like this sort of like triangle thing with a point, like a dot on the top.
Perfect.
I got the exact same. I got the triangles and the same colors and
Crazy.
That's
all right.
great. Yeah.
yeah.
I also got triangles on the same color.
Yeah. Dang.
What do we got over on this side?
And then Emma saw a beach, sand, and it was hot.
There we go. Anybody from the middle section want to go? If nobody else wants to go at the moment, we are going to reveal what the target is. And Cheryl, if you want to walk it around and show Justin maybe first. Oh, we got one more? Go for it. Nope, you're good. You're good.
I have like mountains with like a lake and like I saw flowers.
Mountains and lake. Perfect.
All right.
So we're going to have it revealed to Justin first, and then Cheryl, you can talk about it.
All right, so the coordinates I gave were for Mount Rushmore.
All right, so my overwhelming kind of what I was hearing is that there was some highlights, but it wasn't our strongest for the night. We got 3 more that I think you guys are gonna really like these next ones. Another type of remote viewing that we do specifically in the Psi Games is with AI targets. So these are targets that are not created, they are not anything specific, they could be abstract. It is a physical image that we can show you, but these could be abstract. These could be images overlaid on images. It could be a 8-eyed piranha to a cat batting a ball. I don't know. It literally could be anything. Floating baby. We've had a whole bunch of weird stuff.
2 dudes in boxers skiing.
Yeah, skiers and the boxers. Yep. So this next one's going to be that type of an image. Once again, this was an image that's not created. This is going to be so much of your intuition. So really trying not to do those analytical overlays, maybe sketching a little bit more. This is going to be a lot of what you're trying to see in your mind's eye. We are going to give that same time limit. What we are going to do is we're just going to call this target 1. We are going to give you a target number, just target 1. We are going to do the same 4-minute timer. Once again, this could be a location. This could be a picture of an item. This could be something that just looks abstract. That's kind of the premise, and we're gonna go ahead and start that timer again in 3, 2, 1. So when I was at Psi Games and these people were doing this and you don't know what this image is, you know it's not a real location, no matter what, because this is an image that's just created, right? I'm really thinking about colors, I'm thinking about shapes. I'm trying not to put too much analytical overlay because I don't even know if this is a thing, right? You're really just trying to look for those descriptions as you're trying to feel through what you're seeing in your mind's eye. Sometimes tangible items might come into me like I might feel the grass beneath my feet, or I might feel like a texture in my hands. It might feel slimy, cold, wet, rough, like matches, like organic. That's what tonight's gonna look like, by the way. If tonight looked like that, I think we would have probably the Black Stew guys come out for very quickly. One. So this is once again our AI created image. This was an image that was just created right before we did this. Let's go ahead and we'll do the same. Well, actually, let's start over here since we started.
So I said like pink and it was like a circle. And I thought it was like beautiful. And I thought it was like hype. And then she thought of eyelashes, earrings, like dangling earrings, high heels. And yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like the descriptions.
I just thought of like yellow, and, like a piano, and sun rays.
Absolutely. All right. I know we got some over here. What do you got, Link?
We said yellow, like love to rain, and like you feel green, sunshine, cloudy or cold.
I like it.
Water.
What do we got from this area here? I know this area's got it.
There's some squiggles, circles, colors.
We got face, eyes, mask, red, orange, tropical plants.
I think I was somewhere else. I'm very different on the bottom.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah, mine was like, I felt kind of like my breathing got thick. Like everything was very feeling oriented. I wasn't seeing much, but I felt floaty, zoomed out, and like it was sort of big. I put my analytical overlay as space, so it was kind of things that were in that realm.
You're in a ship.
I don't know where I was.
Anybody else want to share?
I got all colors kind of in an eye formation, but they didn't stay in their colors. They kept changing, and they were going counterclockwise, and everything kind of in that eye formation, but not a solid eye formation.
Interesting. Interesting. Anybody else?
I got like an eye, like a globe. Funny that you say that. And colors like earth, like it's like a one eye. I don't even know.
I mean, all right, anybody else? I have just seen the image for the first time, and I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna let Cheryl give, I'm gonna have her show it around and give the description as she's doing it. No way did I say that.
Okay, so it is matches burning, sitting on top of something that's green and organic.
Dude, yeah.
I was feeling like brick with my
Well, and then you were saying the colors, like a tropical color. Look at the colors in this thing. And you were saying colors kind of swirling around the back, and it has that exact vivid color. So these next two are tangible. You might do better on tangible. I gotcha. For the folks that are kind of struggling with this, like picture recognition, these next ones are tangible items. So that's all I'm gonna say. Just because I want to hit all these different types, right? So we're gonna call this target 2, and this one will have a target number. What I have in here is an item that is a picture of something. This is an unknown picture. I know what this is, so I'm not going to participate. Cheryl knows what it is. We are actually going to leave because we do not want to influence your guys' ability to get this, what's inside this folder. Cheryl, if you want to read out the target number. So once again, this could be any sort of a picture inside of this envelope, but you are physically trying to acknowledge, figure out, feel out, what is the image on this item inside this folder. So we're gonna go ahead and give the number.
All right, 4829-1053.
And for anybody paying attention, that was also the target number on the slideshow. We're gonna go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. So we are definitely doing a big no-no for remote viewing. We are going to remove the target from the envelope, and we are going to show you guys what this is. First off, Cheryl does not know what this is. So I would like to have everybody go around before I remove it from the target folder. Go ahead and give a description of what you guys have. And then let's start in the middle here this time. We did the other side here. Yeah, whoever wants to go first in the center.
Okay. So Kim was picking up on movement, like spiral staircase, grounds, tans, woods. I picked up on a box or rectangular shape. I got red pretty strongly, but I was also getting this weird sense of it being smaller than it normally would be. Like you would normally see something as much bigger than how it was presenting. I don't know what the hell that is. And then I got an overwhelming sense of like a visual of a clock and like ticking. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Oh, we got green, gray cluster circles, like a big railroad track with a little mound on top, and then a line with a circle.
Okay.
Who else wants to share?
I got like a portrait, 70s, big hair, macho energy.
That works.
Yeah.
100%.
Black and white picture of an old man.
Black and white picture of an old man. Anybody back there want to go? Totally up to you guys if you don't want to, no problem. Link, what you got?
We got like brown, blue, green, grayish animal.
Nice.
Sticky, a sparkle feeling, and then something that's like swampy or mucky hot.
I can see you doing. What do you got?
I got like an older person, but in a white tank top, belt buckle, thin arms.
Absolutely. Cheryl, I'm gonna have you reveal the target. Is that wait before? Oh, because you. Sorry guys, I forgot.
We got like a cabin, front porch swing, an arcade, a rope, stars, black knight, raindrop, clean and small.
I got like a old wood shack, and I got like a kid's playground, tall grass, and like brown, blue, and green.
Perfect. And the reveal comes. The reveal is the Contact in the Desert spiral staircase. I mean, I was trying to keep myself together here because you guys physically said it. Austin, you pretty much drew it. You guys are on fire right in that section right there. Yeah. And definitely get a picture of it here because you guys said it all too. I mean, is there an older gentleman in the picture though? Because I mean that literally could be.
I mean, there's
The
definitely
way the arms go this way, and then getting out with
Oh, 100%. You were seeing the shapes.
yeah.
Dude. All right, here's our hot one right here. I mean, for all intents and purposes, that you guys nailed it. We could literally train all night. We literally have trained all night and different times. I have a question. I got about 10 more minutes before we definitely want to tail off so we can try to get it set up for the Skywatch. There's one more type of remote viewing that we could do, or we could do one more topic. I do have a target box with a target item inside of it. We could try to remote view what's inside that target box. Or we could do about 10 minutes of dowsing. Me and Cheryl can give out the dowsing materials real quick. It's just gonna be real simple. It's gonna be the balls and cups. I do have kind of a new coup de grace version of what we're gonna do at the end of dowsing if we decide to go that direction, where you guys will be looking for targets on the ranch here. So it's up to you guys. We got about 10 minutes left. So do we wanna do one more remote viewing, or do we wanna do a little bit of dowsing and try to find targets on the ranch? Dowsing?
It was so funny.
So guys, just because I know we're a little bit tight on time and I want to collect as much of it as I can, I'm going to talk to you guys just a little bit about like traditional dowsing and what we're going to do for our little activity here, and then I'll talk to you about what we're going to do after that. So dowsing is kind of a really ancient, if I can say that word, psychic tradition. As humans, we used to dowse for things like waters, minerals, a lot of different techniques. I'm sure everybody from the Old West movies has seen people try to use wishbone style wood to try to find things like water. A lot of people will use dowsing rods. And so what you would do is these actually have sleeves so they can spin freely in your hands. You would keep them as steady as you can, and you would either have like an intention, like I'm looking for water, I'm looking for gold, I'm looking for an electricity, right? And these would help guide you to where these things might fall. I would definitely say dowsing rods are more like real life application. Folks would also do dowsing with maps. And so if you were to do dowsing with like a map, you could also do like questions. There's lots of different ways to use pendulums, but for all intents and purposes, what we're gonna be doing with maybe map dowsing would be to use a pendulum. And you would basically, both the pendulum and the dowsing rods are both gonna be just extensions of yourself. I actually don't personally use dowsing rods or pendulums. I actually use my hands. I find that my hands are plenty sensitive with what I'm trying to do usually with these targets. Once again, you can ask the pendulums yes or no. Crossing or expanding of the rods would also point to a yes or no, or getting closer to a target, further from a target. Crossing typically would mean yes, or like closer, target getting closer. Further apart would be like you're getting colder. Yeah, exactly. So what we're gonna do, guys, is we've given you guys 3 cups, 1 ball. Really what we're gonna do here is just do really quick, just simple, very simple dowsing. We're gonna have one person on the team look away while the other person puts the ball and moves the cups around. Person that isn't viewing it is going to predict which cup it's in. What I am going to tell you guys is if you guys could do your best to just keep your focus in here. I have something very, very cool that we're going to be doing with you guys right after this, but I need you guys to not pay attention to what's going on out there. So when you're in here, just try to stay focused in here, stay in here, and I'll tell you what we're going to do dowsing next. If you guys want to do, we're going to do maybe just like 5-10 minutes of this, and we're going to go ahead and let you guys jump into it. So when you're dowsing, try to feel differences around the cups. Try to feel heats, weights, emotions. Feel if there's a difference between that one cup and the other 2 might be the best way to describe it. Precognition, once again, usually helps in something like dowsing, right? If you kind of know where something might end up, it's usually a little bit easier to make that prediction. All right, guys, so once again, that was just kind of a very, very tipping the toe into the water of dowsing. I do want to talk about a couple of other things real quick. We do psychokinesis, which is being able to influence things with your mind or your energy. I can show you guys some slides about that, talk with you guys about that. We do demonstrations of that with the galley wheel. We also have done many, many demonstrations of mind sight. I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about mind sight. Talk about what that looks like, talk about our new masks. We've done lots of that, and I wanted to do something new tonight. So for our final activity, guys, there are 2 targets on this property that are easily accessible just by walking the property. These are not dramatically hidden anywhere. They are hidden. They're going to be very, very tangible, holdable items. What I would encourage you guys is to use all these abilities that we've been working on all night, whether it be the precognition, whether it be the remote viewing and trying to visualize where this target might be on this property, kind of looking down spatially on it. If you're dowsing, even dowsing with your hands, using your intuition. There are 2 targets on this property. I encourage you guys to use this last 10 minutes to go find the 2 targets. First people that find the 2 targets get to keep the targets. There's definitely going to be no question about what the targets are.
Ready, go.
Yep, ready, go.
Probably doesn't help with the yeah, I don't know if that'd make it harder right now with the wind going.
My magnetic force is stronger.
Yeah. target.
Well, it's a team effort.
Only because I was like, is that like shiny? But he's looking.
Go. See, I told you when we were on the backside that that's where it was.
I thought they were gonna make you climb.
Dang, dude. You got your own trophy now, huh?
Yeah.
You get to keep it?
Yeah, we get to keep the target.
Oh.